So today we're talking about something that we have a little bit of experience with, raising a child with special needs.
Our first son was diagnosed with cerebral palsy when he was 5 years old, and the years leading up to that were full of a multitude of problems that we didn't really understand and didn't know how to deal with. Noticed that a lot of the friends that we had or the people we come across that had children with special needs, whether it was needs that were
Physical or behavioral, emotional. I feel like we all experience a lot of similar struggles. And so we just decided to talk about those today and see if we can maybe help each other out, or even just if you don't have a child with special needs, but watching this to help understand what it's like for others who do have a child with special needs.
So one of the things that happens with dealing with a child with special needs is that you really have to reevaluate your life when you find out what it all entails. It's almost like grieving the loss of what you thought would be your life.
Absolutely. I totally felt that way. I felt like I had read all the books. I was very prepared as to who I was going to be as a mother, and that we were going to kind of have him come into our life, and all the things we were going to show him and do with him, and the way we were going to be with him. And I felt like then we were handed a little baby with a lot of issues that didn't go into any of my plans that I had laid out. And I had a lot of friends who had babies at the same time, and they were very healthy, very easy babies, and I had this screaming ball of fire and physical problems, and it was really hard for me to wrap my mind around that and to let go of the idea of what I had hoped to for our baby to be. There was a lot of guilt that I felt like I had to overcome. Like, did I do something wrong? Did I do something to cause this? Was I careful enough in my pregnancy? Was I careful enough, when I went to labor? Were the doctors careful enough with him? I mean, there were a lot of questions that I think went through our minds of, letting go of blaming anyone and just realizing that this is the situation that we're in right now, and how do we make the best out of the situation.
Um, One of the things that I worried about was what his life would look like in the future. In time, we were really worried about how he would be um, in the future physically, and if he would be able
Walk.
to walk even.
Yeah.
And so, it's hard to foresee a life for him that would be, how does he make friends? How does he find confidence? And that was a real worry for me.
Personally, it was really difficult as far as I felt like like I said, I had the idea of who I wanted to be as a mom, and instead I became very protective. I felt like I became anxious. I was worried a lot of the time about him, and it was really hard for me to let go. I felt like even when I got time away physically, that emotionally I did not let go and get time away. One thing that I actually ended up doing because of it was I did go to some counseling, and it helped a lot. It helped me to learn to let go. It helped me to learn to surrender things that I can't control, and then to just be at peace with where we were at and just enjoy the moment more instead of worrying so much about the future or what was to come or what we had gone through. Important to find support where you can. I think that unless you've been through it, it's difficult to understand what goes into having a child with special needs. And so I think finding people who have been through it, even if they don't have the exact same, the child with the exact same struggles, it does help to have them know what you've been through and what you've gone through and what you will continue to go through for the rest of your life with this child. So I think that's really important too. Um,
And it's not that other people who haven't experienced it can't lend support. In fact, there's a lot of things that others can do and have done for us that had no idea what it was like to have
mhm.
a child in our situation, but were willing to help out in any way they could.
Yeah, I remember we had a lot of hospital stays, and there were several times when family members would bring us food from restaurants so that we weren't eating the yummy hospital food, or they would go to our house for us and say, "What can we get for you at your home so that we can bring it back to you?" They would also come and actually stay with Caleb so we could go home and I could shower or Ben could go to work.
I think that is a really good point, and one that we missed out on a lot for the first part of his life. But it wasn't until we had our second and third child that we realized that you do just have to enjoy the moment where you're at. And not always looking for the time when you're going to have a resolution to your problems. That was a
Mm-hmm.
big moment for me to be able to just say, you know, I'm a father, and these are the joys that come with being a parent of any child,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with being a parent of a child of a special needs kid. There is a special bond that you have because you've put so much energy and effort into
Mm-hmm.
the relationship.
He's actually, I feel like he's taught me more about myself and about love and about what matters most in life than I have learned the rest of my life combined. So these 7 years with him have really pushed me to a lot of different places that I don't think I would have been able to grow if I hadn't had him in my life. So I'm very grateful for him, and he makes me laugh every day, and he can sometimes be a total punk, but we just love having him in our family. I do feel like there are huge blessings that come from having a child with special needs, and I wouldn't trade any of those moments with him, even the hard moments, because then the rewarding moments were that much more rewarding. This video blog was kind of intended to be able to reach out to other parents who have kids with special needs, or even to those who don't, and to figure out how to help support the ones who do, because I do think that it does take a village to raise a kid, and even more so, kids with special needs need all the love and help and attention that they can get. So anyway, please leave your comments or any stories of your personal stories of things that you've been through. We would love to hear from you, or if you have any questions or anything like that, then please leave them on the comment section below or on the Facebook page, and we just really appreciate you watching. Da, 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 da.
Bye.
Bye.